After a point, it can get a little uncomfortable when you've got foreigners buying up all your land or, well, houses and apartments. Often there is not just public, but also sometimes political backlash. And there are signs that is starting to happen even in always polite Japan. CNBC's Lin, what is going on there?
Yeah, hey, Marty. And maybe we are on the precipice of some sort of change in terms of Japan's real estate market, but it isn't that cut and dry, is it? And there's a number of factors in the mix here. We have seen since the elections last month that there's been a rise in nationalism. And then at the same time, when we think about some of the major cities like in Tokyo and really the blue chip areas like Shibuya or Minato Ward, we're seeing prices at record highs as well. You add into that mix, as you were kind of saying there, there's a level of foreign ownership or foreign buying happening and rising costs from labor as well as from construction costs. And that has, of course, flown through in terms of the political sphere. We saw that at the upper house elections last month. And then we have some of these key opposition parties like the Democratic Party for the People, as well as the populist Japan First San Sato. They've been talking about these issues and looking at potential reform, because when we look at Japan versus some of the other Asia Pacific countries as well, and we have a wall which we can show our viewers, it's very open when it comes to foreign capital, both in terms of residential property as well as commercial property. But it is worth noting as well that we don't really have the data to know who is actually buying. There is a bit of a void in terms of collection by nationality, for example. And I got a chance to speak with a senior property researcher in Tokyo about the situation. And let's take a listen to how he characterized it.
Foreigners buying is one reason, but it's not only the reason. Also, domestic investors or residents are also buying. So that's not the only reason. So what I think why they're not happy with this situation is that disparity in Japan is increasing. I think in terms of income disparity, it is one of the most smallest country in the world. However, as we experienced increase in stock price and real estate price increase since the Abenomics, disparity in asset or wealth is increasing in Japan. So those kind of disparity is making some of the nation unhappy, which make this loss in election for LDP and Komeito in this last election.
And I think the other thing to note is that we can't separate this issue around foreign ownership of property away from the broader issues being discussed in Japan around immigration, but also, as we saw at the elections as well, cost of living and just broader concerns around economic stagnation as well.
Yeah, and I think, historical perspective is pretty important here, because Japan for many years has been, let's say, not so open to foreigners, right? Almost xenophobic in some senses, right? And where property is concerned, I think we need to spell it out. Now, let's get back to our beautiful wall, Lynn, which you commissioned, right? The difference is this: in places like Oz, where you're from, Lynn, and also in Singapore, where we're based here at the SGX, right? There have been crackdowns, right? And I can say this, we can say this, because we're both Chinese, right, ethnically. Chinese buyers have been very noticeable in both countries, and it's become not just economic, but it's become a political problem as well. Not quite so in Japan yet, and we don't have the hard evidence, but anecdotally, obviously, because of what some of these parties are saying, there is noticeable pushback now.